As a Fox News poll shows Alabama Senate candidate Doug Jones with a big lead among independents one day before the special election. The poll shows Jones leading Republican Roy Moore 50 to 21% among unaffiliated voters. To help us break it all down, we bring in Fox News politics editor and the editor of Halftime Report, Chris Starwalt. Wondering what surprised you, if anything, in this poll and why those undecideds matter in a state that is so Republican in its affiliation.
Well, they ain't lying when they say that they're undecided, but they maybe just can't come to terms with it, with what they're going to do. There are no really undecided voters, especially when you get to the end like this. Those people either are leaning one way or another, or they're not going to vote. And really, what we're looking at a great deal with this election is what kind of turnout model are we talking about? If this was a typical turnout year, if for a off, double special, triple flutter blast election in Alabama, you would say that the turnout would be very low, because who would care? Because you know it's going to be the Republican because it was already settled in the primary, right? Well, this time, if it's different, it is going to be different. The question is, how much different? How much more turnout is there going to be? What does the real pool of voters look like? And in the poll that we found, you take all this interest, you take all those independent voters, and it adds up to a pretty, I won't say astonishing, but a robust margin for the Democrat.
Let me play for you some sound from Senator Shelby, the sitting senator, the senior senator of Alabama, who made I think, somewhat a bold and surprising move yesterday morning. Take a listen.
I couldn't vote for Roy Moore. I didn't vote for Roy Moore, but I wrote in a distinguished Republican name.
Do you believe these two Alabama women?
I think the women are believable. I have no reason not to believe them.
What did you make of that, Chris?
You know how they always talk about, oh, he's a real profile in courage? They mean it mockingly. That's actually what that looks like, because you do it when it comes when you do something hard. That means that you're doing it at risk to yourself and that a danger for your own future. And in the case of Shelby, this is a guy who doesn't want to have to tangle with Roy Moore forever. He doesn't want to have to deal with this guy. He doesn't want to have to deal with the about 30% of the voters in the state who are diehard Moorheads. They are all the way in for Roy Moore, and now they're going to hate Richard Shelby. He's going to have to deal with all that, and he did it anyway. And that's what courage looks like.
I wanted to ask you about turnout. So the New York Times Daily podcast reported that Jones needs, I don't know if you agree with this, but they reported Jones needs at least 25% turnout for African-American voters in order to have a chance at winning. And yet I read some reporting this weekend that there might be some difficulty in getting African-American voters to turn out to vote. And yet, again, today you have Obama and Biden recording robocalls. Will that help Doug Jones with that particular vote?
Well, yeah, it will. All of this attention will help Doug Jones will help turnout in general. This being sort of the major political event in America this month. This has taken the center stage as a proxy war between the wings of the Republican Party, Republicans and Democrats, and all of this stuff. So all that attention will add to something. But now we'll see whether or not it was a wise idea for Barack Obama to record a robocall down there. I think, given the intense unpopularity of Obama, even with independents willing to vote for Jones or to stay home and let the election happen without them, inserting Obama into the race will not help Jones with those voters. All
right. Well, we'll see, and we'll see you up here in New York for the special election coverage. All right, Chris Starwalt, thanks so much.